Good morning to everybody. My paper, the title of my article is Class Consciousness, Ethnic Identity and Political Activity, the Bodo of the Assam Valley under the colonial regime. During the colonial regime, the Bodo witnessed a process of transformation that actually lead to transform themselves from shifting culture to the sedentary agriculture. But despite engaging in sedentary agriculture, they also face several kinds of challenges, especially the threat to their land. And this situation actually consolidated their class consciousness and class identity that also developed their ethnic identity and encouraged them in the political arena also. In this article, we also focus the role, the emergence of the class consciousness and its role in the formation of the ethnic identity. In this topic, some scholars like the Bodo, also focus in this case. But the role of the class consciousness in the formation of the ethnic identity should be needed to discuss, and we also do this thing. And in this article, there are few questions. The first question discuss the background of the socio-economic transformation of the Bodo people. The second question discuss about the emergence of the class identity of these people. And the third question discuss the role of the class identity in the formation of ethnic identity. But the first question is, who are the Bodo? According to several writings, it can be said that Bodo are the indigenous inhabitants of the Assam Valley, especially in the eastern Kokrajhar, and they are part of the greater Bodo linguistic community group of the northeastern region. Now we talk about the background. When colonial state introduced Mujawar system in this Assam in early 19th century, during this time the Bodo people still practiced shifting cultivation. They are also depicted in several writings like the Mills report in 1853 and also the writing the Hudson in 1849. But when Hunter wrote down his account in 1879, the situation started to change. How? Because according to the writing of the Hunter, it is noted that the Bodo peasant of the Goalpara, Kamrup and Dharan district, they practice sedentary agriculture and use proper cultivation. But in spite of this, the Bodo peasant of the eastern Goa region still practice shifting cultivation. And besides that, the Bodo peasant of the Kamrup and Dharan district, they also work as seasonal laborer in the tea garden of the Upper Assam. However, in the late 19th century, the imposition of the colonial policy became acted as a major blow over the practice of the shifting cultivation of the Bodo people, and this situation transformed their livelihood forever, and as a result, they also emerged as a sedentary agriculturist during this time. And in this situation, their lifestyle also changed. For example, according to the writing of the Orson in 1849, it is also noted that there was absence of the concept of the private proprietorship over the landed property among the Bodo community. But in 1911, when Reverend Sidney wrote his account, he also noticed that the concept of the private proprietorship over the landed property becomes prevalent among the Bodo community. So livelihood started to change, and in this situation, most of the Bodo people become part of the small peasant population of the Assam Valley. But the question is, who are the small peasants? According to several scholars, it can be said that small peasants are those people, those cultivators who own a very small plot of land, rely family labor for cultivation, and cultivated their land for sustainability of their family. So they emerge as a part of the small cultivator or small peasant population, and they also gradually associated with the market-centric agricultural activity. That also depicted in the 1891 census report, and in this census report, it is noted that for paying revenue, Bodo peasant borrowed money from the Marwari market, and as part of the condition of the loan, they cultivated mustard at the interest rate of 1 month per rupee. So they are basically associated with the market-centric agriculture activity. But despite engaging in sedentary cultivation, they also face several kinds of challenges. What kind of challenges? The first thing is the debt trap caused by the mining activity. the Marwari merchants. The second is the massive influx of the immigrants present from Eastern Bengal that has not only changed the demographic scenario but also challenges the land rent of the Bodo people. And also the atrocities of the landed aristocrats, especially the zamindars of the Walpur, that used to take their land. In this situation, they started to mobilize on the basis of their land rights because land is the main economic backbone of their livelihood, and these actually form their class construction. But what is the class construction? According to Theo Group, class construction implies one's own class condition unconscious of one's own socio-historical and economic condition. So it can be taken financial interest of any group or any community from their class consciousness that actually develop their class identity, and same thing also happened in the case of the Bodo people. We also see example in several revenue record also. For example, the revenue record of the 1914 Bodo President give petitions to the Kokrajhar district authority against the activities of the Jamindar of the Parliament program. And in 1929, Bodo peasants of the North Kamruk region, they also demanded for protection of their land, to protect their land from outsiders, especially the immigrant peasants and Marwari merchants. Colonial authority also do something like imposition of the land system, but situation remained unchanged. And according to the revenue records of the 1939 and 1940, Bodo peasants demanded to strengthen the land system to protect their land. And this land right issue and or the class consciousness of the small peasant actually developed their ethnic identity. How? Because ethnic identity basically associated with their land right. The several scholars like Max Weber or Thomas Erickson, they also argue that the ethnic identity is basically a socio-cultural entity. But G. Komarov and John Komarov emphasize on the economic segmentation and social division of labor behind the shaping or behind the formation of the ethnic identity, and this same thing also happened in the Bodo. How? Because due to the imposition of the colonial economy, their livelihood was not also changed, but demographic scenario was also changed. That actually threat their land right. And Bodo people think that threat toward their land right, not only threat to their livelihood, but also threat to the socio-cultural existence. And besides that, socio-economic difference with other communities like the upper class landed infantry, the Marwari merchant, immigrant Bengali peasant, actually sharpening the socio-cultural difference of the Bodo people that actually shape their ethnic identity. And in the census report of the 1931, it is noticed that the mage peasant, the Bodo of the Walpur district, identified themselves as the Bodo people. That actually seen that it is a response to the challenge of their marginality. And this emergence of the ethnic identity encouraged them in the political arena. How did? In 1933, tribal was formed, which become vocal for the land right of the tribal people. In 1937, select Bodo representative from the Bodo community, like the Rupnath Brahmo and Rupchandra Kachari, they elected from the tribal representative constituencies in the election of the 1937 and demanded protection of the land rights several times in the Assam Assembly. And in 1940s, we also see that the Assam Bodo Sabha of Seman for the demand of the for the demand and for the right of the Bodo. But we also see an interesting thing is the land rights issue of the Bodo people or other tribal people gradually incorporated into the contemporary communal polarization that give political advancements of the Congress and also give political disadvantage to the tribal people. But situation remained unchanged. In this situation, country was independent in 1947, but their problem, the problem of the Bodo people still continue, and their issue of the land right become associated with the ethnic identity and the political activity. How? Because most of the Bodo people are small peasants, and due to their development and their right of their ancestral land actually influence their political activity. And Bodo peasants, the Bodo people use their ethnic identity to protect their land right. So in the case of the Bodo people, land rights, ethnic identity, and the political activity actually incorporated, and these issue of the land rights that influence their political activity and ethnic identity still key issue or major issue in the politics of Assam even after independence also. Thank you.
The paper is open for discussion. Anyone has any comment, they can give it.
I'm sorry I walked in late, but what is the topic on?
Sir, my topic is the class consciousness, ethnic identity and political activity. The Bodo people of the Assam Valley under the colonial rule.
So when you talk about class consciousness in this presentation of yours, did you use any kind of theoretical framework?
Yeah.
Did you use any kind of a theoretical framework to understand class consciousness?
Actually, see that when I talk about the class consciousness, it might be because which element or which thing actually form their class consciousness. So I see that the land right issue actually form the.
You're not getting my question.
No, I did not. I think.
Wait. My question is, did you use any kind of a theoretical framework to understand class consciousness? Now, class consciousness has taken place across the globe. There are many scholars who have worked on these particular areas. So I just want to know from you that whether you have used any kind of a model to understand the case of the world. And if you have used, why are you using a particular model?
Actually, I do not use any kind of framework.
Okay, fine.
But
No, it's okay.
But I use only the theoretical thing. Just that Marxist scholar or non-Marxist scholar actually focus on the class consciousness, and I use the term of the Blue chapter.
Okay. Second thing that you are talking about class consciousness that transform to class identity, right? And then political identity. And you have chosen only the red light as one of the factors, right? But when you are writing any paper, any event of any community, you know, never happens in isolation. There are many factors which lead to the class identity, class consciousness. Why you have chosen only the red light? It is not the study in isolation, not incorporating many factors which lead or it may not lead. The Bodo people are enjoying the same benefit the other community are enjoying. But by taking one factor as a red light, you are making a whole study. It is the class consciousness, which is the class identity, and then the political life. And you are again creating a kind of gap between one community to another study by studying one issue as a red light.
Actually, because
studying in isolation, that is my question. When you are a student of study, you are to incorporate many things. Right? Otherwise, this will give the new message to the society. Right? You want to say something? Yeah.
Question is,
Yes.
I'm curious about it. You say the identity crisis, right? It's settling an identity crisis because of the immigration. Actually, I'm wanting to know about the contemporary situation. Is the problem still persist or?
I think the issue of the land rent is a major issue of the political activity of the Bodo people, and still persists till now, because I recently interviewed with my some Bodo president, basically research scholar of the IIT Guwahati, and he also said that the land rent issue still a major issue for the for the people of Bodo people, especially who live in the eastern Bodo region also, I mean the upper valley region, and also say that the land that if we protect our land, if we able to develop our economic activity also. Actually, you see that most of the Bodo people still are the peasants. Most of them small peasants. I have talked about the colonial period, but if you see the post-colonial period in the 1950 Bodo, assessment of the Bodo district in 1950, you will see that most of the peasants of the belonging to the Bodo community are all from the around the spaceship small land. They own a very small plot of land. And actually, this created their vulnerability also. You know, the small business face schedule kind of vulnerability, several kind of challenge. That for their existence.
So, see, okay, it's next paper is